Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a Stitches and Stencils layout for you guys today. I'm also playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, and I will be creating with this gorgeous sketch from Rebecca Lockhart. I'm only going to be creating with the left page, but I also have a color craze combination for you guys today, and it is these gorgeous blues and yellows. So I did brighten up my palette just a little bit to go with all of my cruise photos, but I felt like it still was within the color palette. So I've got this blue panel that I plan on matting these 4 photos on. And then I've got this gorgeous yellow piece of paper, you guys. This was one of my favorite colors within the 49 & Market Sunburst collection. From my June monthly box, I have this stencil and then these clouds. Now, I had one of these clouds, I don't remember which one, in my stash left over from a previous stitching project. And I decided to make 2 more clouds to go with this layout. But yes, I was ecstatic that I already had a stitching element. I just needed a few more. So off camera, I went ahead and did that. I've also got these 2 4x6 cards from the page kit that I purchased on the ship. And then I have this sun-kissed title as well as these enamel dots. All of these elements other than, oh, and this is the ink I'm going to be using, which is Salty Ocean, and my blender brush. Now, all of these elements that I am including with my pocket cards are all from 49 & Market's Sunburst collection. I definitely did not want to use this yellow piece of paper as a base piece because I loved it so much. I wanted to scatter it throughout the rest of my layout, but it was perfect for this layout, these photos. I mean, just everything. It was perfect, and I could not do this. So I'm going to go ahead and trim down my photos to about 3.5 by 5.5, just so that way I have room to play and whatnot. And then, of course, I'm going to give them a border like what Rebecca does in her layout. She gave them these really nice frames. I didn't want to do the frame part. I'm just going to go ahead and mat my photos. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough of this blue cardstock to do all 4 photos because it was just a 6 by 12 sheet. So I'm going to actually gut one of my pocket cards so that way I can frame my little panel here. Now they call this on a royal ship a wayfinder, which I thought was pretty cool because it tells you everything. It tells you what day it is, what date it is, like the number. It tells you where we're, where we are at. Whether we're at sea or at a port, things like that. It tells you the temperature. It tells you the wind speed. It tells you the speed of the ship. It tells you everything. Like I was just so super impressed. I didn't discover this until day 2 when I first started realizing that all of this information is on there. And then down below, it tells you the events, like 5 or 6 of the events that are going on at that specific time of day. Or starting soon type of thing, because nothing on this ship started before 9 o'clock. Trust me, I was there. Nothing started, but that's okay. I think there was like an athletic thing that weird people do in the morning. Yeah, it's not me. I did walk the track. That's about as athletic as I got, but yeah, I think there was yoga class or something first thing in the morning. Anyways, I don't know. But yes, I thought it was really cool, and I liked including these at the start of each of our ports. So whether we're at sea or at a port, I really liked this as the beginning, like a title page to now here's the Jamaica photos, or now here's the Coco Cay photos and whatnot. So I tried to do that. And then of course my sunset photos, and sometimes the sunset photos are from the balcony of our room, because we have such an early excursion that I wasn't able to go for my walk. And then other times I went for my walk and they are on the side of the ship, the back of the ship, the front of the ship. They're all over the ship where I get my sunset photos, depending on when I'm walking along and I see when like it's just gorgeous. Like I look up from walking and wow, you know, and so of course I stop and take a picture, and everybody that's running on the track is kind of like, whoa, speed bump. Yeah, I know. I've done that a couple times. So I try to stop where there's a little gap for me to stop on the ship. But I did it a couple times where I accidentally stopped and realized that there's more people running. Oh my God. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead, and at first I thought I was going to stagger my photos because I really do like that look. And then I realized that if I did, I would have less room on the left side to do this giant cluster of an embellishment that Rebecca is portraying in her sketch. She's got this gorgeous flower with butterfly and title and all that stuff. And so for my title, I was going to use the Sun-Kissed Memories, which I've used probably about 6 different times in this album. And instead, I'm going to use the Royal Caribbean International clear piece that I just trimmed out. I wasn't going to use it on one of my photos because it was going the wrong direction. So I decided to back it with the leftover paper that came from me cutting out the insignia in a circle, and I thought, oh, that was perfect. Then I've got also more blues on my layout. And so it just worked out really well, and that's going to end up being my title, just to give it something a little bit different, if I don't say so. And then, of course, instead of a giant flower, I'm going to use the insignia and then my wayfinder to fill in the gaps, and I'm going to add a little bit of stars. You know, I love stars, so I thought, you know, for a stencil, what am I going to do? I really didn't want to do anything, if I'm being honest, because I felt like the layout was perfect the way that it was. But then I pulled out this star stencil. Again, it is from the June monthly box that I offered in the shop. And I just absolutely love how it turned out. I like how the littler stars almost look like a grid in the background. And I just love using it in portions instead of in its entirety. So I do end up liking how it turned out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my layout back together. I did... when I gut out a paper, whether it's 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 or 4 by 6, I do like to cover up the seams with washi tape. I know that it's going to get glued down and nobody's ever going to see it. My problem with that is when I go to tuck things, or if I should tuck things, not necessarily this one, I didn't really need to do it for this specific layout. But when I do tuck things, they seem to get stuck on the seams, and the washi tape is so thin that it makes it almost seamless. And so I do like to have the washi tape behind when I gut things. Like I said, this layout, I didn't necessarily need it to be because I just glued it straight down, and then all my tucking is over on the left. So it is just fine. Almost put my cloud upside down. But it still matched. That was the weird part. Because I traced everything so that way I knew where my stars were going to go. But yeah, I almost put my clouds in the wrong spot. That was just really weird. So anyways, going to go ahead and just use a little liquid adhesive. I only used 2 strands of thread, I think. Or maybe I used 2 and then folded it in half and ended up with 4. I don't remember. I thought I only used 2 strands. I think I only used 2 strands to get it, because to get my thread in, because these are very thin clouds, right? And so I definitely wanted to make sure that I didn't rip any of my clouds or have the thread so big that you don't get to actually see the white cardstock underneath. So I only used a few strands. And then they're kind of popped up with that thread behind. So I am going to use some liquid glue to hold it down. And the best part about this liquid glue is the fact that it does dry super fast, even on fabric. So I'm super excited about the wait time being a minimum of nothing. I'm going to go ahead and add these little dots. And at first I thought, oh, they might be too much because I added stars. But the more that I kept adding in, now the giant ones are really hard to use because they just don't look like they go anywhere. But I did end up finding a couple spots. And the more that I added, the more I really did like the little dots scattered in between because they filled in the gaps where I felt like the stencil didn't get to. So I do end up liking how that looks. All right, you guys, so that is my layout for today. It's the color combination mixed with stitches and stencils, which I had a blast. I do apologize for not stitching in front of you. That's very boring. But I did cut the clouds out from my Cricut and then poked all the holes using just a little poker tool that I have, and then did all the stitching. So everything, there was no template, there's no pre-cut holes or anything. It is just what it was. All right, so don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. She is my partner in crime when it comes to color craze. Also, don't forget to check out State Goddess, who is Sandy Reversky here on YouTube, because she is our partner in crime, mine and Janet's, with stitches and stencils, and see what she is doing today. And then, of course, for Series 16's Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, I have her Facebook group linked down below so you can see all 16 rounds. 16, you guys, 16 times 30. That is a ton of sketches all in one spot for you guys. And then if you click on each sketch in the comments down below, each sketch, you get to see everybody's interpretation of it. I mean, there's lots of inspiration all in one spot. It's a ton of work. So anyways, don't forget to go check out that because the link is down below. And then, of course, playlist link for everybody that is playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life is here as well. So anyways, thanks a lot, you guys, and I will check you guys all later. Bye.